if the foundation to what you've built, and it unlocked you all the way back in the beginning of having that thing happen that had all the locks and they had thrown away the keys of negotiation because you negotiated your way into being able to go to the University of London. If that's the foundation, where do we stack the pyramid for there, where this can impact leadership and the level of success that leaders can have and how influential they can be? And at the end of the day, they can then impact sales performance by driving their sales leaders. Where's this thing? Where's the negotiation and the understanding and the mastery and the art of it? Where's this go?
Oh, there's unlimited potential here, right? This is something that doesn't matter what stage of life you're at, you can start to look at in depth, right? Because the way you communicate, it's all about communication, right? It's why they tell you in couples therapy, like they don't tell you to just focus on like the things that you think. It's all about communication. They tell you to start listening to the person. I guarantee if you're having an argument with your partner and it's getting heated, if you just said, hey, I'm not hearing you right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop. I'm going to focus on hearing you and what you're saying. And then I'm going to cross check. I'm going to say, hey, did I get that right? And you're going to repeat back what they said and you're going to check every single time. And so you start to calibrate and make sure that you're on the same page. If you do that, the emotional tension and the resistance will come down. And then you'll be able to actually start hearing them. And that's when you'll be able to say, like, I don't agree with some of this stuff, or you don't understand my point, but that's okay. I'm going to focus on you for right now. And just that switch in you trying to understand them. So this is playing out in relationships, but it's also playing out in business. And because when we're in the business world, we're chasing all that validation, and companies do this on purpose, right? And it is quite competitive. And especially in sales, you want to be top of the sales leaderboard and you want to be out there with your name in every single PR press release. And it's just geared that way. And so everyone's chasing that validation. But when you can rock up and you're the calm one and you're able to hold your silence and everyone around you's panicking or chasing this external validation and thinking that the loudest is who gets everything, and you're able to just observe and retain your power. And then when shit hits the fan and something goes wrong, that's when these people that have been running around doing all the politics, they don't know how to negotiate, influence, and persuade. You, who's the calm one, carefully able to articulate a concrete plan, is able to lead. That's where you start to amass power, because people will start looking to you because you've been able to be calm under pressure. So I think there's so many ways that these skills are applicable, whether you're in the boardroom, whether you're a CEO, founder, especially founders, CEOs at the exec level, or whether you're just starting out in your career, because the negotiation is almost like a meta skill. It has a compounding effect to it. It's a multiplier. If you learn negotiation to an advanced level, and it's not just tactics and strategies, it's how you show up in the world, it has a multiplying effect on your life. And it's just, I love it.
Isn't it very important? It's circling back, but isn't it so important that you have to know what you're working towards?
100%. I think that's the starting point, right? Yep. You need to sit down and know what it is exactly, specifically that you want. Because once you know that, you can start to prepare.
Yeah, because you knew that, hey, I want to get into this university.
Oh, yeah, there was no doubt in my mind.
Right. So then every directive that you gave yourself and every action you took was going in that direction. And anytime someone wanted to deviate you off of it, you needed to negotiate yourself back onto the line to make sure that's where you were going. It's as if a ship, say I have this destination, I plug it into the GPS, or you're on a jet and that jet is on autopilot. And if it deviates from the course, you got to know where you're going so you can redirect it and make the adjustment to get back on course. You just smiled. What'd you just smile about?
No, I'm agreeing, because I think this is it's so important, because other people will start to, again, negotiate on your behalf or negotiate you, that you won't understand that they're actually telling you, hey, no, go to another university. I'll get you in. I'll make a call for you. But if you're dead set on going to that university, because you know that's a red herring, right? Yep. That ain't going to happen. They're just pushing the problem of you to there. And once you do that and you start entertaining that idea, you've diluted your power. You've diluted everything that I'm telling you not to do. It's the fact that you're there going, hey, I ain't budging. And that's really important because that'll put this whole thing. I know we're talking about universities and getting into college, but this is a massive thing that plays out in the bigger deals when you're negotiating multi-million-dollar deals, because people are going to rock up and they will be master manipulators and they will have tons of red herrings on the table that they know. Hey, you want me to make a concession so that we can do a reciprocal? Okay, yeah, that's fine. Reciprocity, yeah, let's do it. I'm all good. I'm collaborative. I'll take these back, these things, these asks back that I never wanted anyway. You'll think that you've got something, and then you'll give something that you actually really needed because you didn't fully know what you wanted. And that's the point, right, Mark? Like, people think that this is just about money, but there's so many parts. And if you're a salesperson, you need to know, is it a short-term or long-term game you're playing? What's more important? Is it revenue or profit? Is it pipeline? Is it qualified leads? What is the most important? Is it new logos? Like, where are you in that business cycle? Where is your business? And because that's dynamic, there's like loads of layers, right? And it's always changing. So you need to be strategic. And that's why this is negotiation, and it's playing out in everyday life all the time. And you can be a master at it.
Identify the finish line of the current thing you're working on, right? Identify that.
Yeah.
So you have a new book coming. I love the title. I don't even care. It's going to be a book. I don't even care to read it, Tim Castle. But it's the next one's The First Domino. I'm like, oh my gosh, where's the first domino fall?
Yeah, that's great. That's a great segue into it. So yeah, The First Domino was something I do a lot of coaching with founders, CEOs, startups, as you can imagine. And so one of the things that struck me when I started doing these for accelerators that have like 20 startups and maybe they're in property or health was that sometimes the founders are quite technically focused and they're very creative people. They've coded this business, or they've built this app, or they've done this project, or they've jumped out of one business and come in and they built their dream company. And about 2 years in, what's happened, Mark, is they've gone out and they've tried to pitch it, or they've tried to sell it, or they've tried to get their first client, and it hasn't worked. And now they're 2 years in and they're starting to panic. And at that exact moment is the moment that they will start listening to me. Before that, they'll think, no, it's okay. We've got some runway. We've got some cash flow. We've raised some friends and family round. Maybe we've got a small investment, whatever it is, and they feel fine. And they haven't got enough urgency behind them. They haven't gotten enough get up and go.
What's the first domino that then they're willing to listen?
Well, no, the first domino is, so you've got all of these dominoes that need to fall in order to knock the first domino. The first domino is actually your first flagship client, the client that's going to change everything for you. Because then once you've done that, you've got that client. You can prove business market fit, product fit. You can prove runway. It opens up so much, and that's what everyone's chasing. And especially when you're a founder and you've put everything on the line, you maybe mortgaged your house to go and do this business. Everybody is waiting for you to go pull this off. So it's a lot of pressure. And so the first domino that I talk about in the book is prospecting, because I think that's the first thing. When someone is writing a prospecting email and they are in that position, either they're a new sales manager that's gone into a business, they've taken a new job, and they may be 10 years into the business, but they have about 90 days to prove their worth, right? They've got to make an impact, and they've got to make some revenue impact in 90 days. Let's be clear. Everyone will say, yeah, you've got 6 months to ramp up. No, you haven't. You've got about 3 weeks to start really hustling and landing some big meetings. And so what happens is it's the same thing as the entrepreneur that's about 40 years of age. They put everything on this bet to back the company that they've just built, and they need to go land their first flagship client. They're both in the same position. And they send out all these emails reeking of desperation, filled with jargon, not able to get cut through, and they sound like everybody else. And then what they do is they hire and they outsource this part, which they don't need to do, to somebody else because they panic. So they're either doing a scattergun approach where they're pinging every single person they know in these roles, and they're just destroying any value that they could create. And so what we talk about is, and this is in my book, The Momentum Sales Model, which just won silver at one of the big US book awards this year. So it's been a really good year so far. It's the 9 before 9 a.m. strategy. And it's teaching people to get in front of 9 prospects, either via text, via email, or actually in front of them for coffee every single day before 9 a.m. Because if you start to have that rhythm, you've got 9 qualified prospects coming in that you're going to follow up with every 3 days until they talk to you, till they give you a meeting, right? Then and then this is what you should be doing, right? It's when you're sending out these emails, there needs to be one clear ask. You need to put that ask in the second sentence so that that person who's time poor can actually understand what the heck you want from them, because you're coming at them blind and you want a meeting. That's all you're trying to get. So you don't need to sell them the earth, the world, all in that one email. You don't need to convince them. You just need to ask for the meeting and give them a reason why. And that's the outcome that you're
Is the
delivering.
reason why about them and how you can help them and their life and their business pretty much? Is that what it comes down to?
Yeah, but it comes down to, but not in not in any of the ways that we've seen it on LinkedIn. We've all had
The
those messages.
non-desperation ways. Yeah, when you're desperate, right, you lose all leverage. Is that a proper statement?
I think you destroy.
Yeah.
It goes the other way. You're sabotaging.
Yeah. This seems so simple to you now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's fun. This
My
is
simple, you're fun. Okay.
it's
Fun.
super fun. Like, just
It's super fun.
who do we need to get in touch with? Let's and then the joy of like knowing that you can help people. I think this is the part that people mistake with sales. It's that you're not emailing them to convince them to buy what you've got because it's going to make you commission. You're emailing them because you have a value to offer, and you're doing them a disservice if you don't tell them about this product that's going to change their business. It's a disservice because you have that information. As long as you hold that and you know that you have value, which you do because you're working for a good company or you've built a good company, go with that in your heart and go out there and knock on that door. I mean, you should just be, yeah, that's what I'd say. It's close deals, not doors, basically.